Our last match, eUnited versus Complexity. We thought coming in that this game could have so many implications for Complexity, who have improved drastically over the past couple of days. Instead, for eUnited, this is about confirming their seed. And honestly, I'm excited to see what eUnited we get, because this is a team that I haven't actually casted over in quite some time.
Yeah, and as you were pointing out, over the course of this week, had things played out like we would have liked them to, this match could have had big implications to finish off the week. But also, like you were saying, even though I wasn't a part of Stage 1, a part of Stage 2 here, it's a pleasure to finally check out the Columbus Arena. It definitely has been a fun time throughout this Pro League, but here you go, kicking off the action. Complexity jump out to a 15-point lead as they're trying to establish map control. Looking ahead towards the second hardpoint coming up over on the main street. Right now you have number 8, Ricky, playing for Swans and trying to lock them down for his team.
And it's the young superstar Dashi leading by example for Complexity. A 7-2 break, still 13 seconds left on Statue Hill. Should be good to go with Complexity. Complexity, as you mentioned, Reverend, with the rotation over towards Main Street. However, a couple players died. Beautiful watching the kill cam there. I think that was Ricky who actually held it perfectly to actually spawn onto his teammate, waited for his teammate to win the gunfight, as opposed to spawning out where Sensor actually did.
And look, regardless of the situation, this is still a match in a series where Complexity want to give it their all. There's no better practice than playing against these top teams, especially in a situation like this up on the main stage. So there's still some improvements to be made for this lineup, even though I think over the course of these last 2 weeks, they've made a lot of improvements and some great changes to their overall team. You can still always get better.
Most definitely can. I know Sensor was on Twitter late last night saying he's going to win champs, feeling as confident. All he has to do is improve his individual performance, which, you know, credit where credit is due. He definitely has done that in the past couple of days, but curious to see how taking that loss, you know, not making it the playoffs is going to affect this team. Hopefully, not in too much of a negative way, as Complexity now with a 36-16 point lead, 15 seconds on Main Street. This has been a very low-scoring game thus far.
Yep, so far. Also important to keep in mind that Complexity, they actually haven't won this map and mode combination since the start of Stage 2, 0-4 overall, where for eUnited, this is their best hardpoint map. We've seen time and time again, Pristini always flips a switch and always finds a way to take over whenever you see eUnited playing London Docks hardpoint. As right now, it's Complexity with the lead, a fragile one at that, but they have the early setup and initial control over here at the Docks warehouse.
That's good. They've actually got the first wave of kills as well against eUnited, which is going to push them a little further out. Sensor actually gets caught, but he should be good to spawn close to his teammate. Actually, no, he spawns useless, and that's simply because of the pressure Ardennes has put on the fire side of the map. Ardennes ultimately gets himself a double kill. Luckily, Ricky there to trade, but plays by pressure from the other side. Pristini is just sprinting at Ricky, but Ricky stays alive. Wonderfully done. Hardpoint still contested.
No idea how Ricky wins that engagement right here. Come his teammates following up. It's just up to Fellow inside the hardpoint here for eUnited. Gets tagged up the grenade from Sensor to finish him off. So it's now Complexity. They had a very fragile lead coming into this hardpoint. Now they've started to build a little bit of a lead of their own. Could go up by around 40 points if they lock down this remaining time. Great to see Dashi continue to slay here, and it's Blast right behind him at 10-9. Sensor, of course, even, and Ricky doing his job as always inside the hard point, just picking up kills where he needs to.
And that's the key. You look at the stat line for Complexity over the past couple of weeks, and you know you see Ricky's numbers, and you think, well, that isn't all that impressive. What is impressive is the actual hill time, and more importantly, where is Ricky actually getting the few amount of kills he gets, and also how many of those kills are double kills, for example. Always in the hill, always picking up the important kills for the squad, which, you know, recent form in Hardpoint has given them a big advantage. As Complexity, speaking of advantage, is still just shy of a 40-point lead, around about 33-point lead currently, 18-47, as eUnited still fighting with the favorable spawn, trying to get control of barrels.
And look, the most impactful kills you can get in this game mode are 1, inside the objective, and 2, when you're playing for spawns. You have Ricky who soaks up time, so yeah, those 9 kills that he gets, if they're all inside the hardpoint, those wind up having a big impact on the game. But as we're looking ahead over towards the Crane hardpoint, eUnited, they're starting to get into a rhythm. A combined force spree between these teams as they're starting to get heated up, bringing the game and closing that deficit closer and closer, but still Complexity on top of their rotations. And just look how closely coordinated they're playing with each other. Always working for the trades. That's a big change that they've made in their team play over the course of these last 2 weeks.
And most definitely is. I'm sure eUnited are going to be a little frustrated about that rotation. They tried to really secure the spawns here as they actually kill the player in the hill. So for now, no time being earned. As play ultimately falls to Dashi over towards Dock Warehouse. Fellow looking over towards Fire, but it's Blast that actually picks up a double. He's close to streaks. As I say that, though, Pristini mows him down. Looking for Pristini to really just kind of shift into a different gear. You brought up the point on London Docks. He can be one of those very, very aggressive players who, just at the flick of the switch, almost can take control of the game. Really look for him to maybe do that in the second rotation of hills.
Yeah, and, you know, Pristini, he's also been a standout performer for eUnited as well. I mean, just piggybacking off your comment, I feel like it's only a matter of time before he does flip that switch, gets fully streaked out. Oftentimes, it only takes that one good sequence of events. A player gets fully streaked out, and all of a sudden, you feel the momentum shift in their team's favor. But one rotation of Hardpoint's done and dusted, and as it stands, it'll be Complexity taking the lead there. Once again, not a big margin that they lead by, but as we look ahead towards Statue, they're set up pretty well for it. They have control of the Statue stairs, fighting from the water side of the map. They should be able to establish some sort of crossfire. Nice coordinated grenades to try to take out Fellow, but he wisely backs up as Complexity take initial control of Statue, and they find kills to back it up.
As you said, a very, very close first rotation as it stands. Complexity 105 to 87 with control of Statue. Now, seems like the perfect time to send it to an Astro Gaming listening with eUnited.
We can heal.
One box, water steps, there's some water steps.
Yeah, got him, one shot dead. One shot. They spawn back fire,
They're in fire too.
I'm dead.
Oh
god, he's going to get time.
I got shot from gate. 1 second hardpoint, Ricky.
Yeah, there's 2 in hill.
I'm going underground. Ricky's at new, guys.
Go, it's fruit. Dashy on water steps and one's in hill.
I got dug.
Nice.
Ricky's on new.
Only Ricky.
Got one's front lights.
I got one.
Lights, Ricky.
One shot. I don't want to push.
Lights. One shot is fuck. He's super weak in lights, Ricky.
I'm coming quick.
I got Rick.
Nice.
I need Sunny.
Be cut. Dashy's be cut. One at Old Hill. I spawned underground.
Dashy's still gate. And once we can do.
Flick a gate, got one gate.
No, Dashy.
Got him both.
That's 2.
I spawned back.
Close right.
Close right dead.
Nice, last guy.
We can hill. No, they spawn there.
Blast blue truck, 1 bullet. Blast blue truck, 1 bullet. I got him alive. Blast blue truck, 1 bullet, yo.
We had Sun. Blast Sun dead.
Nade hill.
In hill weak. I hit him with a nade.
I got him weak in hill.
One's back, red bus weak. Right side, red bus weak. Right side, red bus weak.
2 in hill. I got Dashy.
One more in the back.
There's 2 in hill.
One shot dead.
No, red bus.
Yeah, kill me crossing.
I'm nading back left. Hold hill.
Still red
He's on the bus.
I need a back left.
We gotta get this time.
One shot.
Holding cross.
Got one. I'm hitting gate.
Still bus. Did we kill bus?
Yeah, I did.
One in the back. We gotta rotate, guys.
I am. Really
Wait.
small new. I got one.
Nice, good job, fella.
Crane, absolute Ricky. Absolute Jeep.
Spawn dogs.
Look at that fire.
There's close crane right here on us, guys.
Yo, yeah, they're on beach side hill.
They're all there.
Ricky's crane, dead. Ricky's
Nice,
crane
good
dead.
up. I guess one's on the ground, I think.
One more on me.
Nice.
I'm giving this up to rotate.
Dashy window.
I'm nading it. Trying to nade it.
He's weak.
Water stairs weak. Water stairs apples, 1 bullet.
He's very weak in hill, Dashy.
I'm dead. One shot,
One
I'm
front
playing my
pier,
life.
Dashy's water stairs, and one front pier already.
Go in middle.
I spawn back crane. Yeah, hold that dogs.
Last week.
Let's go.
Complexity keeping the pressure on eUnited, just not able to break through to that main street hill as quickly as they would have liked, and not able to get the rotation over towards Dock Warehouse either, as they were left fighting for scrap, but on first attempt, they do break through.
I was about to say that, and this could be the moment for eUnited where they find their rhythm back into this game, and they close that deficit and bring it to around an even scoreline. They have control, as you said. It only took them 1 attempt to break on in, and now Persini, this might be the moment for him to get streaked out. He's on a 3-spree, Fellow as well on 3-spree, but Persini's kills are coming inside the hardpoint. Posting up inside the window, you see Complexity as they spawn up over towards the crane side of the map. They're going to try to fight on through and maybe break this eUnited setup, but with 15 seconds remaining, they also have the option to cut their losses and try to fight for spawns over towards Beer.
You see over the past couple of days, giving Sensor a lot of love, struggling a little bit here in map 1, 13 and 24, but Blast has stepped up, 25 and 25, Ricky 22 and 21. Complexity still with a very, very fragile lead, 6 points as the early time here at Barrels could go over to eUnited. Prestini, I said look for him to turn things around and turn things up a little bit in the second half. Well, he's got himself some streaks, looking for more. Player close right, goes for the challenge, maybe overcommitted a little bit there. Still had a teammate watching the front of Barrels. Ultimately, no tier 2, no tier 3, but does get a glide bomb.
I feel like if you're going to commit to that engagement in that situation, you have to go right away. He waited too long to help regenerate on the player and couldn't finish the kill. Also bought time for another Complexity member to rotate over and help out his teammate in that engagement. Now, Dashy's the player that could get streaked out here. 125 points away from a glide bomb of his own. If he finds 1 kill inside the hard point, he's got it.
And it's so important, especially with Persini already having a glide bomb. Dashy wisely backs away, plays his life. Now Persini close right. Dashy waiting for the health to regen. Persini is going to find 1, but there comes the glide bomb. Is he going to get more? Mowed down by Clay in the hill. No more streaks for Complexity. The final 7 seconds should be good for them, though. So both teams now with a glide bomb. Complexity once again with around about a 30-point lead.
Clay might be feeling the pressure here, but I would love for him to just back on up. You see, he's got great progression over towards the glide bomb of his own. If he's able to find maybe the capture points on that upcoming hard point that already popped up, there's a chance for him to maybe earn those streaks. Glide bomb gets invested here by Dash. He takes Pristini out of the hard point as well, but still for the time being, Clay on a force free, still working towards his streaks.
Oh, and Clay's more than likely to get shot in the back there by Blast. Will do. United with control of the hill, chipping away at the early lead. We saw 1 glide bomb invested. Will we potentially see the second? Doesn't look like it just yet. Of course, eUnited still with control of the hill here. They're picking up a ton of time. 30 seconds left of Crane. Bear that in mind. Sensor looking to lead the charge for Complexity. Can he break through? You've got RC's watching the cross, and RC should be good to maybe even pick up a couple of kills here.
I feel like eUnited have gotten so much time on this Crane Hardpoint and Complexity. They've just been taking forever to set up to break and actually fight for positioning in and around the Hardpoint. And now they're spawning out towards that back right corner of the mini-map. Tough for them usually to break on in, but they're able to do it. They find the kills. They will get some scrap time, but it's going to be eUnited with the lead.
Hey, we wanted a close game, Revan. 198, 196. After 2 full rotations, we head back over towards Statue, where Complexity have looked fantastic thus far, but 4 players full. It's eUnited's turn to take control.
Okay. Back over to Statue. RC's first line of defense, he's drops. You also have Prestige trying to get an extra angle over towards the water side of the map. Meanwhile, Placer, he's really starting to heat up for this eUnited lineup. Positive 7 as it stands right now. Minute 31 and climbing inside the hard point. There's the RCs with the key 2 piece, just relieving some pressure off of the map. And slowly but surely, eUnited, they're building a lead, and they're looking to close it out on this upcoming hard point.
They're putting so much pressure on Complexity, knowing that they have to push Statue. They have to at least contest, and it came from really the early wave of kills they were able to get. It deflected so much pressure, it forced Complexity to spawn out, that they get essentially what is free time. And now look at the minimap, Revan. You basically have a situation where eUnited is fully set up for the new hill.
Also, Pristini still has that glide bomb too, so if eUnited find themselves in a position where they lose this rotation, they lose their positioning inside the hard point, you could play around the glide bomb, either try to isolate the player anchoring for Complexity, or use it to fight through the front, take them out of the hard point. But initial capture time and points will go to eUnited. It's going to be up to Complexity. They're feeling the pressure. They have to go. They have to break on in.
The problem is they wanted to go for one good team push, but time is ticking. Time's of the essence. It is eUnited winning all the gunfights. Pristini's going to drop a glide bomb. Ultimately, 2 players from eUnited full, but they should be good to spawn in. The pressure's going to come through. You have 5 seconds, Complexity. You do not have time as Clay just slays Complexity down before his eyes, and eUnited take map number 1. It was a map which Complexity, for the most part, had control of. It felt like they had that 20 to 30 point cushion realistically ever since the very, very beginning. But finally, on the final couple of hills, really, the last Crane hill we saw, eUnited get a big swing, turn things around, and take the lead in this.
Yeah, that Crane hardpoint is where they take the lead, but for eUnited, I felt like it started for them at that final Docks Warehouse hardpoint that we saw. Even though Complexity won the rotation there, one break, one attempt to break is all it took for eUnited. They break on in, they get the remaining around 45, 40 seconds, and that's what propels them to close the deficit and brings them to an imaginable position for the final 2 hardpoints.
It looked a little easy there towards the end, that's for sure, but realistically, you look at the likes of Pristini getting that glide bump. Ultimately, didn't have too much of an effect, really, only
nice
to secure the map, if nothing else. But it was Clay really stepping up in a big way as well, pretty much in the second rotation. Lovely performance from him. He's from, of course, secure the final couple of kills there to secure that map for eUnited. For Complexity on the flip side, though, it was a slow map from Doug. It was. We've praised Sensor over the past couple of days, and we didn't really get that same performance there in map number 1, and the team struggled a little bit there because of it.
And I know before the series, Jess had a chance to catch up with Ardennes from eUnited. Let's check in and see what he had to say before this matchup.
Thanks, Revan. Well, Ardennes told me that there's really no pressure for eUnited. This match is just for seeding, and that's not to say that they're not going to try or they're not going to go hard, because of course they still are, but it also is really good LAN practice, and, you know, he knows that eUnited are just not going to be that torn up if they end up losing this, because it's just not the end of the world. I did also pop over and speak to Complexity, and Ricky pretty much told me the same thing. You know, he said this match literally means nothing for us, so we're just using it as practice. We're practicing up for champs, and we're using it as an opportunity to kind of fine-tune some of our weaker maps and our lesser played maps. So let's see how the rest of the series shakes out. Ben, Revan, back over to you.
I love that from Ricky. Complexity doing exactly what they need to do, right? Get a little bit of extra practice, maybe tweak some strategies here and there, play some of the lesser maps that maybe they need to improve on come Call of Duty World Champs time. For eUnited, they did have a chance, I believe, of coming out first at the beginning of the day, but that was nullified with a result prior. So for them, they're almost in a similar situation here, where it's just go out, play your game, practice against a very, very good informed Complexity squad. The last real LAN practice you're going to get before playoffs.
Yeah, the nice thing is there shouldn't be a ton of pressure on these teams coming through the series, right, so they could really fine-tune their gameplay here. And just piggybacking off of Ricky's comment, you know, that map 1, the London Docks Hardpoint, well, that's a map that Complexity don't play all too often. They were 0-4 entering the series, now 0-5, but they played that one close and tight throughout the entirety of the map. They jumped out to an early lead. Yep. Unfortunately, they just let it slip a little bit. You know, Sensor falls off the pace a bit towards the tail end of that game. Can't maintain that, so Complexity, even though you drop map 1, I still felt like they looked fairly good on that map.
Well, Ardennes Forest Search and Destroy will be map 2. I'm curious to see if that's another one of those maps Complexity may have said, well, you know, statistically we might not be the best at, but we do want to get some good practice, especially against a playoff team. So numerically, at least, how are we looking in terms of wins losses?
Numerically, Complexity are 5-3 on this map and mode, whereas eUnited are 2-4. And we've seen Complexity play this map and mode time and time again. This is typically a good search and destroy map for them, right? We saw when we were casting them last time, Blast took out the sniper, Dashy took out the sniper, so they're well versed. They know what it takes to win maps and rounds here on Ardennes Forest Search and Destroy. This is going to be better practice for eUnited, I think, since they have statistically the worst map.
One thing's for sure, you can expect to see Ricky patrolling top ruins. He's very talented when he gets up there. Blast as well. I expect to see him patrolling that B site. We've seen him play aggressive with fast U pushes that catch the opposition off guard. Also passively with a sniper rifle. A lot of people look at this team and say, yeah, Dashy, he's going to be the guy that always works the sniper. Sometimes Blast, he has to remind you guys, he can snipe as well.
And it's important that Blast changes up that pace, because sometimes I feel like, especially in Search and Destroy, some rounds he just gets a tad too overly aggressive and gives up his life for free.
Perfect point. Just guess what happened when they went to round 11 with a playoff life. It was Blast that gave up the first blood, maybe being a little over-aggressive on his B rush. But first round is going to be Clay with a sniper, who actually spots out Blast and Complexity go for the smoke A push here on Ardennes Forest United. They're going to have to rotate some resources.
And that's the issue with sniping here over towards the A bomb site. Once that smoke goes down, like, you're kind of forced to give up your positioning over towards the bomb site. It's nice that Clay does get that pick on the sensor to open things up with first blood, and Arcennes is there with some positioning to help out.
I'm surprised, because I'm pretty sure Arcennes saw them both cross. Either way, Fellow's going to get the information. Blast, last man alive. He's in the site. It is a 1v3. Blast has been tagged. Fellow going to hunt him down and find the final kill of the round. United convincing round 1.
Yep, a good defensive round from them. Like I was pointing out, since Clay was sniping early on, he can't really be aggressive up on that A bomb site, you know, over towards that cabin wall, because he could get isolated so easily. It was key that Arcennes positioned himself inside the cabin to at least establish some sort of crossfire to relieve pressure off of Clay's position.
Revan, I know you're not a massive betting man, but curious to know what your odds would be of a round 11 team kill from eUnited in this search and destroy.
Are we putting dinner on it?
I don't know. Let's see if it gets around. If it does get around 11. I will definitely.
It's got to be quick. Okay.
I will definitely put money on a United team kill in some fashion. It just seems like the meme of United transferring across into the gameplay is Dashy. He's actually going to have the sniper rifle out over towards the B site as Blast number 3 tried to be aggressive straight up mid. Oh, how does he do it?
No one knows, but Dashy.
How? Like,
man's a freak.
He's just so consistent with it.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. The thing is, like, he's definitely the flashiest sniper we have in the Pro League, without a doubt in my mind. But early in the round, you know, you saw since that smoke goes up, similar situation to what Clayster was in on eUnited's first defending round. Once that wall of smoke goes up, as a sniper rifle player, you can't really linger around the position. He's forced to give up his spot over towards the B bomb site. But despite United getting the bomb planted, despite them having all of the control, they're met by a wild Dashy with a sniper rifle. A flank comes in as well late in the round as Complexity secure the round, and they tie things up here in round 2.
I bear in mind that was a round United did get first blood in as well, because it was Blast that pushed mid-map to no avail. Ultimately dropped, but good use of numbers. And just kind of collapsing in on eUnited's position after the bomb went down. Gives Complexity their first round. Tie things up 1 apiece. And out they go back on the attack. What will we see? It was Smoke A first time. Will eUnited expect that to be a similar push? Of course, Clay isn't going to get any information at all. Instead, the smokes go out towards B. Fellow feeling aggressive. Push straight through. Instantly, his life was traded out by Blast. I believe Complexity do have a little bit of control. Pristini could be out in the open, somehow still alive. Dashy up top, he shuts down Arcennes. Sniper from Clay rotates though, and he spots the last player, 1v1 versus Ricky.
Could pick up the SCG, but it's also going to make noise. Clay has to be very careful in this spot. Ricky runs down right on top of him, and Clay, he's going to win it. The quick rotation comes out on top. And in that round for eUnited, because Clay doesn't see any initial pressure over towards that A bomb site, he should be calling that information out to his team, and they should be expecting some sort of attack either down the middle lane over towards that B bomb site. And Fellow, at least he trades his life out early in that round.
I think that's Clay's mindset right there. It was exactly what you said. He didn't really want to pick up the gun just in case it did make the noise. Ricky had no idea he was there as Clay just waited patiently, found the kill. I don't know why. Clay just makes me laugh, man.
He's a funny guy. He's a character.
He's so funny. He naturally is funny. Very, what you see on camera, for those fans at home, really is the true Clayster, if you will, is here in round 4. Blast gets first blood. Fellow responds with 2. eUnited, the 3v2 advantage. bomb already going down at B.
Yeah, this time around, at least they have that man advantage to work with as they get the bomb planted over towards B. Sensor working alongside Dashy. Dashy with the snipes. Connects there onto Pristini. Having a big impact early on this game at 4-2. It's a good start for him. But 30 seconds remaining this round, they still have to go.
And here's the problem. If you do play top runes, you have to kind of be so passive there because you know Dashy's presence with a sniper rifle. But it's going to leave now Sensor in a 1v2. 26 seconds left. Clay is still up, and I believe Clay ultimately found that kill there as well. United give themselves a cushion.
Okay, yeah, normally around that 2-round lead is a nice cushion to have in Search and Destroy. United with the opportunity to build a bit more. Nice shots from Clay here to clean up Sensor in the Bronze Star kill cam. Now as we start to look ahead, it's going to be United with their defensive end. So even though Dashy, he's certainly been having an impact with that sniper rifle, maybe you start to swap things out, especially late round. You know, him with the assault rifle, the ability to clutch up. Also allowing his teammates to play off the back of him as he could open up lanes. Right now, Fellow and Clay both on 3 sprees. Fellow, a 6-2 start for him. We love to see it.
Pretty sure everyone put the sniper away. As this round could be a little quicker. Beautiful nades from a United catch. Ricky out for first blood. That is a first blood for everybody on eUnited. They have 4 to complexities of 1. So, good synergy coming from the squad. As ultimately, Fellow will fall. Clay able to assist that gunfight there against Sensor. And that leaves us now again 1v2. This time it's Dashy trying to do a bit of damage limitation. Bombs down mid-map, but I don't think eUnited necessarily know it just yet. He's going to be able to get it, and it makes this 1v2 a little more doable.
Yeah, where that bomb dropped, I think the stump was kind of hiding it a little bit. So eUnited, at least they're playing this together. This is how you want to approach this type of situation. And honestly, you want Dashy to plant this bomb.
Yes, you do.
Clayster has great progression towards his streaks. If he could find this kill, get the bomb to fuse after, I think he'll have at least a glide bomb fuse.
Well, best case scenario, bomb goes down. Now you just have to clutch up and...
I think they spotted him too. I think Clay has spotted Dashy.
Efficiently. Well, they know he's P1. RC's...
He's giving up his angle to the bomb, though.
Oh, they don't know he's to his left. Easy pick for Clay. And enough time for Clay
Don't do it! Ah, they're losing this map.
Clay, defuse. There you go.
Maybe giving his team some bad juju here. We'll see how...
I think Fellow's like, really? Really? Like, Fellow's like, did you...
The teabag, you'll have to see it, Clay.
Everyone is looking at him like, bro, what are you doing? Why would you do that? But RC looks at him and says, no. Prestini's like, bro, what are you doing? Fellow's like, really? This is how we're going to lose this map? You giving us this bad juju? Meanwhile, Clay's just sat there teabagging away, big old smile on his face.
You know, that's the exact conversation they have to. They're like, sheesh, Clay, come on, bro. We're losing this map now. But yes, he does have streaks. Can we see exactly what he has to work with really quick, Paradox? Okay, so working towards our artillery barrage. Nice sniper early on. Connects down to Ricky as Clay gets fully streaked out.
And bear in mind at this point now, if you're Complexity, you saw him defuse the bomb. You have all the information in the world. With that kill as well, you know he has full streaks. Fellow, again, being a nuisance over towards that A site. Clay, oh, he spots Blast. Beautiful shot.
I don't know how that was a headshot. That was mid-dive as well. Impressive shot there from Clay. All up to Dashy, though, in a 1v4, down to a 1v3. Certainly capable of making these things happen, but the...
no, Clay, don't get turned on. Ooh, okay, I was going to say...
Scary there for a moment, but next on the second shot.
He missed the first shot. He misses the second. He's dead, and that's karma for shooting bodies. But ultimately, Clay swings at the kill, and obviously, you know, we like to talk about best snipers in the game. Obviously, Dashy without a doubt flashiest and hits the most ridiculous shots on a consistent level. But Clay, this map, he's pulled out the sniper, and he's just kind of asserting his dominance here in Ardennes Forest.
Yeah, got, what was it, 3 kills in that round?
He's on an 8 streak.
Damn, Clay's going off, and he's been the player that's stepped up lately for eUnited. You see him getting loud, getting, you know, a bit feisty there on the stage. You know, he brings the intensity game in and game out, and that's something he's done throughout his entire career. Look at him right now, 9-1.
Hey, getting around champs time is exactly what you want from a world champ himself. How far can the eUnited squad go in a couple of weeks? Of course, playoffs still to come. But another first blood for United. That's a very sad...
I did not have Mountain on.
It's a very sad tale when you look at the first bloods, Revan. I mean, look at that. Complexity have 1. We're 7 rounds deep. It's very hard to win games of Search and Destroy when you're always at a man disadvantaged. Luckily, no bad juju, at least in the Search and Destroy. Fellow just says, all right, okay. We closed that one out, but there's still potential for a reverse sweep. Admittedly, not the most potential because eUnited seem to be on cruise control. And that's the one big thing I've always mentioned with this eUnited squad, Revan. When they play with a smile on their face and when they play happy with good vibes, They play better, and that is exactly what you're seeing here.
And I completely agree with that sentiment, Ben. You know, that's something that every time we go to like listen with this United lineup, you can hear that they're joking with each other. You saw it there in the camera reaction at the end of the round after Clay was shooting bodies as well. So they avoid the bad juju there. But look, it's eUnited we're talking about here, so the reverse sweep is certainly capable in this series.
eUnited fans hear you say that, Revan. As it stands, though, eUnited comfortable against Complexity. Map 1, a little close, but map 2, not so much at all. Can Complexity take game 3, potentially start a reverse sweep, or is it going to be a 3-0 in favor of eUnited? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty World League. It's the final day of the season. eUnited currently 2-0 up against Complexity, and obviously we're all laughing about Clay shooting bodies, teabagging. You saw the players' reaction. They kind of look at him like, are you crazy? What are you trying to do to us? Through that commercial break, myself and Revan, we kind of turn around and just kind of go get ourselves a quick bottle of water. We were having to run into Fellow on his way back from the bathroom. He says, just watch. I'm calling it now. Dashy is about to go off. Clay has jinxed us. It could be a potential Game 5, and, well, that's a great start for Complexity.
Honestly, that's a pretty safe prediction to make, because Dashy usually goes off for this Complexity lineup, but early on, flag about to be pulled by both teams. You have RC's with the Complexity flag and Blast with the eUnited flag. Let's see how this situation is going to play.
I just imagine as Dashy guns Fellow there, he goes, oh, crap. so it begins. So it begins. Flag has already been capped. It took just over 30 seconds. Complexity with a 1-0 advantage. Has it lit the fire? Has it lit the Complexity spark? Blast with the 2 kills defensively, looking for more. Ricky with 1. It's all down to Ardennes momentarily just to buy his teammates a little bit of time as they come off spawn. He should be good to do that with the pick on Blast. No, Ardennes doesn't push forward, doesn't want to be aggressive, just wants to be a nuisance here. He's going to force Complexity to respect his presence and thus waste a ton of time. Because they're hunting for that kill, they can't push up the map and get map control.
Oh, beautiful analysis, Ben. Plus that first kill he gets onto Blast winds up being a pretty impactful one at that, because he had 2 kills as well as the flag cap. He shut him down from earning the streaks in the future. And of course, he can't make anything happen in front of him because he has no support coming from the back. So RC's just trying to be a nuisance, like you were saying, draw the attention away from the middle of the map. And now pushing on forward, it's going to be Fellow. Finds 2 opening kills, has some support from RC's this time around, but rotating back from the outskirts is going to be Ricky. Flag does get touched. Flag gets returned immediately after, and now eUnited, they got to back up a little bit and try to find this next wave of kills.
And you like the aggressive play from Fellow. The intent was there. He was halfway towards his streak, and he knew he had a player pinned, so if he pulled the flag and got the kill, he would have just been 1 further kill away from earning his first glide bomb. As now, just a little bit of defensive hold needs to come through for Complexity. About 2 minutes into the game, still Complexity with the lead, 1-0. But eUnited, they've definitely been the more aggressive of the 2 teams.
Yeah, Complexity have been pinned back since that first flag cap, and now the flag's going to get re-pulled once again. eUnited, they've gotten a lot of touches, but nothing has came of these touches. There's always one member lurking around for Complexity, ready and waiting to get that return. As RC's trying to make a move through ammo, nothing going to happen, and now Complexity could push on up, establish map control, and try to catch eUnited coming up off respawn.
Oh, it's Dashy leading the way at 6-4. As Blast now wants to turn the tempo onto an attacking pace. Ultimately, only able to find 1 as Sensor trapped between a rock and a hard place. Ultimately, he will fall as well. Ricky last one up. Now it's his job to basically do what we saw RC's do on the other side a few minutes prior, but he's not really able to do as good a job as RC's did, as ultimately he drops. Halfway through the first half now, Revan. Still a 1-0 game, but again, I think it's important to reiterate, eUnited have definitely been the more attacking of the 2.
Yep, for sure, but the score not reflective of that, as it's still Complexity with this 1-0 flag lead. And as we're highlighting that, another flag pull opportunity here for eUnited, and another return coming in from Complexity. That's got to be like the 5th or 6th return that Complexity have gotten. Yeah, there you go, pulling it up. 4 total returns for Complexity. I feel like it's just beginning, as this onslaught from eUnited is just getting started.
But there's only so much pressure Complexity can take before ultimately they crack, and Prestini, he goes for a quick hit and run, essentially. He grabs the flag and just dips. That's a teammate, Prestini. Keeps on going.
That's your brother.
And he actually falls, so now Prestini has to respect it.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Prestini. Oh, well,
that's ambitious.
Sensor is going to win that gunfight. Clay, though, with an opportunity to keep the flag alive. Now, Sensor's left in a difficult situation here because he has the flag, obviously. He doesn't know whether to go to the return and get the extra points, which he obviously opportune, because then if he caps the flag as well, it's perfect. Essentially, he's just lingering around. He finally decides to just leave the flag. Teammate's going to go for it. Ricky returns. Sensor should be good to cap. Beautifully done, Complexity. 2-0 advantage. Minute and a half to go.
Yeah, Complexity now feeling very good in this game. That's their 2nd flag cap, as well as their 5th return. And there's Ricky once again. He always shows up with some 2-piece on the map to open up a lane for Complexity, pushing on forward through Electric. They're going to get another touch here, potentially over on the eUnited flag. Speaking of eUnited, it's Pristine trying to lurk around the back, but he gets snipped out there by Blast. As Complexity hold on the defensive end, and now they're trying to get some offense going off the back of that.
RCD's big defensive double from him. As now pushing straight through. Can he find the trip? Oh, when he's shooting like that. Oh, it's a pleasure to watch. It really is. Once he started off relatively slow, he was 3 and 8. But hopefully that triple kill is going to give him a little bit of confidence as Prestini actually just jumped straight over someone. Now all of a sudden he knows he's been spotted. Or has he? Maybe he hasn't. This could be perfect. Go for the flag pull, then get the kill. Gets the extra points, and now all of a sudden flag is away. Nope. Can they pick up the kills? Doesn't look like it. Flag returned again.
6th one. I'm counting. I'm keeping a tally. 6 returns so far for Complexity. That's only in one head.
So think about that. That is over a flag a minute of pressure eUnited is putting on Complexity. And Complexity have held out for 5 minutes. Defensively, that is very, very impressive. And then you add the fact that they've also been able to get 2 flags of their own. They're being aggressive at the right times. And that begs the question now, is it necessarily Complexity being brilliant defensively, or maybe eUnited not kind of going for the best attacking pushes? Are they maybe going in one by one, ultimately not having the greatest success?
No, I think it's a combination, a little bit of both. I think eUnited are doing a good job of initially setting up their offensive opportunities, and Complexity doing a good job of having somebody hang back, waiting and ready to spring into action to get that return. But then, you know, supporting the flag carry and, you know, with that second wave of kills, I think that's where eUnited are faulting on the offensive end. And going into the half, it's going to be 2-1 flag lead for Complexity. eUnited finally get that first flag cap on the board. Took them, you know, 6 attempts previously. Finally, good to see them capitalize there.
Hey, man, it doesn't work at first. Just keep trying and try again. Finally, they get it on their 7th attempt. And also important to note there, the player that actually capped the flag was extremely close to earning the tier 1 streak.
Oh, he's got it.
In actual fact, yeah, he does get it. So despite Complexity getting 2 flags, and Sensor was very close to streaks, he didn't actually earn any extra utility on the map, whereas on the flip side, Persini did first time around. That glide bomb, admittedly, it's just a glide bomb right now, but it could be huge to bring eUnited back into this game.
Oh, absolutely. And now when we talk about that one lurking defender for Complexity, the glide bomb's a perfect tool to spot him out. At least gain the information that, hey, you know, they have a defending player in the back. You know, let's kill him before we try to get that flag out of their base. Persini connects with the grenade. No kill made just yet, but he will commit to this engagement. Has Ricky tagged up. On assist. 25 points away from that artillery barrage.
Just needs to land a couple of shots.
Oh, I thought for a second he just moonwalked off the map.
Hey, that would be a very United thing to do. But I love this from Persini. Playing his life in an awkward situation. Too many times you see players play kind of top mid. Instead, he's putting himself in a corner that not many people are going to go. Good trigger discipline as well. Doesn't want to reveal his position. Take an awkward gunfight. Wants to secure the kill and guarantee the streaks. The problem, however, is as time goes on and you're down a flag, his passive playstyle often does kind of bite teams in the ass. Bear in mind, he could also use the glide bomb as well, especially now considering a couple of kills go in their favor. He also finds the pick, so he already gets his tier 2 and tier 3 streaks. Ultimately, that doesn't necessarily matter. Now it's just about getting that second wave of kills.
One defending player. It's going to be Dashy set up in the back of the base here for Complexity. His teammates come up off respawn. Finally, they take care of him. But here come the reinforcements. Up off respawn. Kills not being exchanged between both these squads at the Complexity base. Placer from around the outskirts. Hello. He finds 2. That's going to open up this offensive opportunity. The flag now in their hand. And Dashy on the overextension. But it's a split spawn coming in for Complexity.
Oh, and Dashy managed to get so lucky here. He's behind enemy lines. Actually shoots a little early there. Arguably could have just held off a little bit, but the flag's actually gone bottom middle. Dashy could be in a great position to really put a dampener on eUnited's mood. That's going to be the flag carrier. It doesn't matter. Persini gets it. Bear in mind how close to streaks he was there. Overlapping, he hasn't used any of them. He uses the artillery. He could actually earn another artillery. You have to use the fighter pilot straight away. If you get the kill with the fighter pilot, this is best case scenario. You're doubling down on streaks.
Yep, absolutely that. Perfect. Great to point it out. Picks up the kill on the Dashy. 10 points away, though, from earning that artillery barrage. So he doesn't have it just yet. And if he's unable to earn it, well, those decisions to call in those streaks.
Could be costly.
Certainly, yeah, could be costly. And look, it definitely is the right play to make. He's so damn close.
18-7 on a 9 streak. A wonderful performance from him, as it is with Messi. He's tied as Prestini. He played it so well at the start of the half, passive on the right-hand side of the lane. This time, pushes mid and gets caught. Still 1 streak, though. Bear that in mind. Still has 1 streak left. As with 2.5 minutes, it is all tied up. 2 flags apiece. Who will break this stalemate?
And, you know, because he uses those streaks back-to-back, Complexity are probably thinking, did he really earn them? Do we have to worry about another artillery and another fighter pilot? Obviously, we could see that's not the case, but playing in the back of the minds of these players, they might be thinking that exact scenario. As now, Complexity with an opportunity to get... Let's move on.
Yeah, let's just move on. As you were saying, it's very, very tough in those situations where players can potentially overlap to keep track mentally of the actual number, because there's so much going on at any given time. As Dashy now again looking to be aggressive, he ultimately drops Dashy at 20-16. Really, again, playing extremely well. But Clay, looking to be a nuisance here for Complexity, runs it straight towards the opposition. And there, the glide bomb will be invested. Overall, that's a waste.
Yeah, nothing really off the back of that glide bomb. Really want to see him use it, you know, on an offensive push to take out the defending player. You know, if they're about to come up off respawn, at least tag them up a little bit, soften up the defenses so that you can punch on through.
And that play basically comes from eUnited not having the best intel on where Complexity actually were. Because as Clay's running that flag, he does not expect there to be 2 players there. So ultimately, the glide bomb would have been absolutely perfect, but it's not the case. As now, all of a sudden, Sensor, he's pulling the flag. Can he just dip?
They have to commit to this engagement. They have nobody set up middle map. They should be able to get this return. One more player threatening offense for Complexity. That was Blast. In the meantime, Fellow actually has the Complexity flag in his hands, pushing through the outskirts. Through ammo.
What? Fellow, just go for it.
There you go. I was worried there. Maybe mess up his dive, but now it's going to be eUnited taking the lead with just under a minute remaining.
And you feel like, in hindsight, Sensor may watch that back and say, I probably should have just ran. Probably should have just tried to get some yardage on the flag, essentially, if nothing else, put some distance between the flag and eUnited. But they've done wonderfully well in the second half. 3 flags. They give themselves a 3-2 lead. This is going to be the first 3-0 of the day. Or have Complexity still got something left in the tank? Fellow defensively shuts down Sensor. Time ticking. You basically have 1 player in a position to push. It's going to be Dashy. Dashy falls. Fellow again being big defensively. Also causes some streaks as well.
And right now, eUnited, they're outselling their opponents by around 15 kills. And you run with that big of a slaying margin, especially in CTF, you'd see a bigger deficit that Complexity face. But with 15 seconds remaining, still that 1 flag lead for eUnited. Somebody threatening at least the flag pull. It's going to be Ricky. What does he have a play to make?
He has to take it to the back and buy time. He has a teammate rushing straight through mid-map. 7 seconds left. Ricky just looking for the picks. Dashy has to help him. Dashy's not even looking. But Ricky actually finds a miracle kill, and now Dashy comes into action, but he falls. And Ricky left doing it all by himself. Ultimately drops. Flag has been returned. eUnited with the 3-0. There'll be no bad juju for shooting bodies in this game. But you have to feel there. Complexity, they had 45 seconds left, and all they did was single file push. They had enough time to say, all right, everyone calm down. Everyone pushes the unit, get mid-map control, and go for 1 big team push. That would have been a much better play than individual pushes for the final 35 seconds. Because look at what happens. You force Ricky just to go for a pull because he has no other choice. He can't move forward. He actually runs further back towards the eUnited side of the base. And then ultimately, you're left playing the guessing game of where are eUnited going to come from.
Yeah, unfortunately, they kicked into desperation mode there at the end of the CTF. Winds up being costly, especially, considering the fact that they went into the half with a 2-1 flag lead.
Still talking about it.
Yeah, he's still talking about the body shooting. But all things considered, this was a fairly close series. Aside from that second map, the Hardpoint was close to side by just 48 points. Sure. Obviously, we saw how that search and destroy played out. Clay went off with the sniper rifle, went on something like a 9-kill spree in there. And then you saw how the CTF played out. Just a 1 flag difference. And there's certainly opportunities throughout that map for Complexity to get more going.
And you have to feel, for eUnited, of course, we will see them at playoffs. But that was a game 3, at least, was a very good kind of map for them. Because traditionally, or I should say historically, the start of the year, they're the maps that you don't really see that composure come through and their comeback really come through. That was beautiful from them to basically say, all right, 2-0 down. We know that there's a streak in play, but we're going to play our own game and we're going to do it well. And very, very quickly, they got the momentum back into the map and ultimately managed to take it in 3-0 fashion. So congratulations to them. I'm very excited now to see where they reach, because we often talk about, as casters, has this team reached their final form? And I think eUnited is very, very close, especially come playoffs.
Yeah, I completely agree with your sentiment there. It's great to see eUnited showing up and playing, at least in a good form here at the end of playoffs. We actually have Jess on the stage with our cities with our PlayStation Instant Reaction.
Thanks, Revan. Well, as you went into that match, you were telling me how, it doesn't mean a ton, it's just for seeding. So it seemed like it was kind of low pressure. Considering that, how does that affect your gameplay?
It didn't affect our gameplay. We came out here to make a statement for the past 2 weeks, and we did, and we just kept winning.
Great. Well, overall, looking at stage 2, how did your expectations of, how this ended up match up with what you were expecting going into this stage?
Honestly, besides the reverse sweep, we did what we wanted to do. We did what we knew we could do, and we finally did it.
Great. Well, finally, we're heading into playoffs. So how prepared do you feel for playoffs?
Pretty prepared. We're countering a lot of SnDs the other team's doing, and it's working out really good. Besides, the team kills 5-5. Preston and Clay need to get away from each other, so that's all.
Great. Well, thank you so much for the interview. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. We'll be right back after a quick break.
swift 3-0 going to come out from eUnited, which is big for them. Obviously, they are playing for that seeding headed into playoffs. And guys, we need to break this one down a little bit and then look at the last match here before we actually do get to playoffs. And how is eUnited able to come in and just dominate?
I think eUnited had a little bit more going into the game, obviously what they were playing for. They had something to play for. And honestly, in the Hardpoint complexity, they started off very well. I was kind of impressed. I was like, okay, they're going full force. I was listening to the comms as well, and it seemed good. I didn't get that vibe yesterday after complexity. I felt like things would just crumble. I thought they'd kind of go into this one a little, you know, heads down. But eUnited, they come up again, second half. Hardpoint looked very, very strong and just continue that momentum going into map 2 and 3 as well.
Nameless, eUnited as a team for the entire rest of the year, how serious of a force do you think they're going to be reckoned with?
I think they can be consistent top 4. I think they can get top 4 at the next event. And at Champs, I think they still need a little bit of improvement before they can get that championship. But I think it's in their scope now, right? They can see it. They know they have the potential to do it. I think they have a little bit of work to do, but I can see them, like I can visualize them winning a championship at this point.
I feel like steadily their stock just keeps going up and up and
Look
up.
Look at that. 3-0ing a team like Complexity, it's not easy, and they do it. And I believe they were, what, like, what'd they go this week? 5-1?
It's ridiculous. You know, I'm not sure if it's 5-1, but the record since coming into this, like to actually make top 4 was crazy run, but then they've done this in the fashion that they have. It is mind blowing.
Yeah, United's they've been dominating lately. All the players have been playing well. We see Clayster play amazing on that first and second half. He starts off 9-1 on Search and Destroy. Like that's what you want to see out of your captain. They're looking good.
They're having fun too as well.
Yeah, we could see that from Clay quite a bit. But the thing is we talk about how crazy that run was, and now all of a sudden they are going to be in that second place seeding right now in Division B. Optic Gaming going to be playing next, and they need to grab this win to make sure that it's 100% no way going to change up. They managed to stay here and have that first place seeding headed into the playoffs, and they're going to be playing against LG. Do you think Optic is going to be able to take down LG right now, Momo? Because, I mean, the main thing is we talk about Optic, and they get bodied kind of at the beginning of the division by the likes of Rise, by the likes of LG. Now they're able to come out and kind of change that.
Optic bodied LG. You mean Anaheim?
I think Anaheim, Rise as well, just the way Rise dealt with Optic, and it was a wake-up call for Optic, you know, past couple of weeks. But we had Octane on the desk yesterday. We had the privilege of speaking to him, and he kind of came on, and he was just like almost laughing as he's speaking, like, "Oh, Hardpoint is great, like we're going into this." I am not a believer of kind of like the juju or the karma and stuff like that.
Thing.
I'm not either. I was actually talking to Krim, and he was saying a bunch of things, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like you gotta worry about that juju, things like that." But
absolutely.
All right. This is what happens when you get a player on the desk. It's like everybody believes in the juju.
When you get a player on the desk.
Believe in the juju too much. It's not real.
It is real. Life's a simulation.
Winning is real.
It's all predetermined.
That is.
Juju is part of the simulation.
So juju is hard-coded into this.
Absolutely.
All right. That's the most reasonable argument that I've ever had for juju. But at the end of the day, you look and it was Anaheim where LG gets the better end of Optic. Before that, Optic has the better end of LG. Two very, very dominant victories on either side for both squads. Now we get here, and I feel like they're completely different teams at this point. I feel like Optic's been on the rise and LG's been on the decline. And one of the big things that you even notice with LG, too, I mean, we're seeing weird role swaps even currently going on. I mean, we're seeing JCap and Formal potentially switching roles. I feel like they're in crisis mode right now.
They are in crisis. I mean, you look at LG, you see them not making playoffs the first time. You saw their tweets yesterday. This is the first time I haven't made playoffs. Slack said this is the first time I've been in this position in my entire career, so the vibes are definitely not there for this team. If they were to come out and win this, it would just be like a miracle, like them just performing with no pressure at all. So I think that's something that can aid them in this match, having no pressure, but Optic have looked way too good recently for me to predict LG to beat them, especially what I've seen out of LG. They've been getting 3-0'd. Like, it hasn't even been signs of them even trying to make this run, so I think Optic got to be the favorite.
Yeah, after what Optic did to Unilad as well, it kind of puts Optic in a very solidifying spot. LG, you know, they're not even in the shout of even top 6 right now. It's like, where do you put LG in the long run? You know, do they have the talent? Yes. Are they in a great spot? No. Maven kind of tweeted about eUnited, how they're turning up at the right time, perfect time, playoffs going around, champs going around. I couldn't say it's the opposite for LG.
It's the mental thing.
Yeah.
You got to be mentally there. You got to be mentally confident in your teammates. You know, there's a lot of emotions when you're competing on a stage like this. I've went through it all times in my career, and it's tough when you get in kind of that rut where you don't trust your teammates and you almost stop believing in yourself at times. So they got a lot to work on outside of their just individual skill and talent. Like, they got a lot of stuff to work on emotionally, mentally, and even just like looking at gameplay. They got to work on that.
Yeah, going a little bit big picture here, kind of when we're on that topic and actually looking at